In this short clip, I'm going to talk about the cross-curricular competency group assignments. Watch this clip as many times as you want, but if you still have questions after watching it, if you still have questions about the assignment, feel free to ask the questions in class or feel free to contact me for further information, either after class or during my office hours. Now, the cross-curricular competencies are things that teachers should be doing in all subjects, and the QEP spells out 9 cross-curricular competencies which they group into 4 categories. Keep in mind that each subject area also has its subject-specific competencies. ESL has 3 subject-specific competencies. We're not talking about those. What we're talking about are the competencies that the math teacher, the ESL teacher, and the history teacher share. These are things that teachers should be doing, that the history teacher should be doing, the ESL teacher should be doing, and the math teacher should be doing. So the 4 subject areas are intellectual competencies, methodological competencies, personal and social competencies, and communication-related competencies. And you can see how these 4 areas would be relevant for students to be developing in all subject areas. The intellectual competencies include using information, solving problems, exercising critical judgment, and using creativity. The methodological competencies involve adopting effective work methods, using information and communications technologies. The personal and social competencies involve the student achieving his or her potential and cooperating with others. And finally, the communication-related competencies involves communicating appropriately. Now you have 2 assignments related to these competencies. One is a group assignment and one is an individual assignment. And these are very much like the broad area of learning group assignments. Each group is going to focus on one of the 9 cross-curricular competencies. Each member of the group will find and read one academic article connecting ESL and that group's cross-curricular competencies. Now, it's unlikely that the article is going to name the competency unless it was produced in the Quebec context. But you will be able to make the connection between, for example, using creativity and many articles on ESL and imagination in ESL, or active engagement in arts in ESL. You'll be able to connect articles on web quests to the cross-curricular competencies in using technology and information. So you'll be able to make these connections even if the article doesn't specifically. The article you choose will form the basis of your contribution to the group oral report and the individual written report, which I'm going to discuss. So the group assignment, as with the broad area of learning group assignment, the group assignment's worth 10%. It's a 15-minute oral presentation, and you will introduce your specific cross-curricular competency to the class. Your group has developed expertise on that cross-curricular competencies. You're going to explain how you feel it connects to ESL, and you will discuss some of the academic articles that you studied individually. Now, these groups are going to be slightly smaller, so in the 15-minute presentation, you're probably going to be taking a larger role than you did in the broad area of learning group assignment. I'm assessing it in very much the same way I did at the broad area of learning assignment. Everyone participates, that you accomplish the goals of the assignment in informing your classmates about the cross-curricular competency and helping us to see how it's relevant to ESL, your response was fairly complete, that you took approximately 15 minutes, that you communicated clearly, were engaged and engaging, and that the response was well planned, well timed, and well organized. So very much like the broad area of learning group assignment. Now, the cross-curricular competency written report is an individual assignment. It's worth 15% of your grade. It's 1 or 2 pages in length, and you discuss the academic article that you studied. In this report, you should introduce the article. You don't have to tell us about all of these things, but you probably should think about all of these things when you're planning your writing. What is the article about? What's the topic? What was the goal of the writers of the article? What did they find out? How did they go about finding that out? Did they have a main argument? What was the context in which this article was produced? Perhaps it was produced for a very different context than the secondary school system in Quebec. And you should use proper APA citation in citing this article in your references. Link this article to the specific cross-curricular competency that you're studying. You could be linking it to the focus of the competency, to the key features, to the evaluation criteria, to the discussion of the development of the competency. You'll see when you look at the competency that each of them has a range of key features, and perhaps your article only connects with one of them. When you're trying to identify articles that might connect with this cross-curricular competency, look over the key features. You might find articles that connect with only one of them, but that would be relevant enough to discuss. So now take this article and discuss its importance to language teaching. Connect it with other things you've learned about language teaching, language acquisition and/or education, and discuss its relevance to you as a language teacher. I'm always wanting to know why it is that you chose to focus on the article you focused on, or the cross-curricular competency, or with the broad areas of learning, the specific broad area of learning you chose to focus on. I want to know how you're connecting with it. Okay, so that's all I have to say about this assignment. Feel free to ask any questions. Contact me via email, ask questions in class, after class, during office hours, etc. Good luck, have fun.